When I was 21, I was the richest person in the neighborhood. Sounds great, right? But really, it was a true nightmare. My mom, dad, and little sister died in a car accident. They left on a night I should have been with them, but I wasn't because I had argued with my mother. I don't even remember what we were fighting about. I just remember slamming my bedroom door in their faces without saying goodbye. I inherited all their properties, but I was completely alone. Since then, my days blurred into each other. I did nothing but eat junk food and watch TV, lying on the couch until I drifted off to sleep. The sunroom became my refuge, not because it was special, but because it was the only corner of the house that didn't remind me of them. That night seemed no different from the others, or so I thought, until I heard splashing in the pond. At first, I ignored it, but as it persisted, I decided to lower the volume on the TV and listen. I even put my ear up to the window, and I heard consistent splashing sounds. Way too heavy to be from a duck or a goose, it sounded like they were splashes from a person. I opened the door in the sunroom and stepped outside onto the deck. I looked out into the pitch darkness of the backyard. I now heard a man's humming along with the splashes. Someone was definitely swimming in the water, trespassing on my property. My reaction was to ask if anyone was there. It might sound stupid, but at that moment, it was the only way to figure out what was happening. Then, suddenly, the splashing stopped, and the lake fell into an eerie silence. I wondered if one of the neighbors, someone sharing the lake, was taking an impromptu swim. But really, who would be out swimming at that hour? Especially when it had started pouring rain. Oh, and I almost forgot. It was raining heavily. Suddenly, I heard a noise on the deck. At first, I assumed it was just the wind slamming against the door, but I was taken aback when I realized the lights were off. I distinctly remembered leaving them on. I dashed toward the house, and with every step, I couldn't help but wonder if it was really a good idea to go inside. As I reached the door, I noticed footprints that couldn't be mine. In hindsight, I don't know why I entered the house, especially convinced someone was inside. Without looking back, I ran to the living room, grabbed the phone, and dialed 911, only to find the line dead. I couldn't tell if the storm had knocked out the phone or if someone had cut the wires. I quickly turned off the TV upon hearing footsteps on the wooden floor. Suddenly, heavy breathing echoed near the sunroom window. I lay flat on the couch, trying to steady my own breathing, which now seemed deafening in the oppressive silence. While I was still hidden on the couch, I realized something was off. My glass of milk was empty, and the pizza I'd been eating had vanished. Heart pounding, I decided I couldn't stay there any longer. I crawled out a window and made my way to the neighbor's house to ask for help. Soon enough, the police arrived. As they started asking questions, one officer inquired if my family ever had any enemies. That question hit me hard, a painful reminder that I had no family left, and a deep sadness washed over me. They searched the entire house. Every window was locked, and there were no footprints anywhere. They even assured me that the phone had been working perfectly. Just as they were leaving, I overheard one of the officers telling my neighbor to keep their doors closed because an escaped convict was on the loose in the area. In that moment, the nightmare I'd been living took on a whole new meaning.